now.
Guys, my name's Jackson, and I'm with my good friend Omar. We are talking what a week for college football awards. Clearly, the Heisman Committee listened to our podcast and was like, man, maybe we should figure out a new day. And they announced that the finalists are going to be announced on Christmas Eve and a little 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. The Heisman ceremony is going to come in the new year on January 5th. As of now, post-CFP, post-bowl season, so that's going to be really interesting. We've got a lot on the table. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Biletnikoff Award, which is, if you don't already know, goes out to the best wide receiver in the country. And, let's get this thing kicked off.
I'm excited, to say the least. Jackson, with the new Heisman, standards for this year.
Right. I just want to first off get this out of the way. I have been saying Kyle Trask for Heisman since June, and now he's an actual finalist, so I'm pretty thrilled with myself. Absolutely no bias. I knew I've known him ever since he was a backup quarterback in Texas campaign. So, yeah. But I guess the first thing we how this Heisman ceremony, or the new time for the Heisman ceremony, is going to affect its race, because Omar, we have never seen, at least you would know more than me, at least that I can remember, we've never seen a Heisman race where the finalists played their bowl games and then went to the Heisman. Like, we've never seen that before. So how do you think that's going to affect the Heisman race?
So I'm a purist. I'm sure you know this. I think bowls are a celebration. I think the Heisman depends on what you do in the regular season. And I think part of the buildup of bowl season is you get the best players together against each other. And they play these bowl games, these much anticipated postseason games. It adds another thrill to, the New Year's Six and, in the past years, the BCS bowl games. Frankly, it makes sense, but I'm not a fan. But I can see how it makes sense this year. But there's going to be confusion, because now that it's given in January, there's going to be two 2020 Heisman winners, ideally, which could cause confusion in the record books.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it is based off of maybe I can't remember a conference championship game that really impacted the Heisman race. I think it is based off of your regular season play. There is one, you can't really call it a bowl game, but a championship game that's going to be played after the Heisman, obviously. I've got a little trivia question for you. When was the last time we saw two quarterbacks? Because there's a good chance it happens this year with Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and the winner between Mac Jones and Kyle Trask. When was the last time we saw two quarterback Heisman finalists that were going to face off in the national championship? Do you know that year?
I'm thinking –
because we've seen a couple. It was like a running back quarterback combo: Cam Newton, LaMichael James, Derrick Henry, Deshaun. We've seen that. Do you remember the last time two quarterbacks?
Two quarterbacks? I'm thinking – so my first guess is 2014 with Mariota and Winston. My second guess, though, in the national title game, second guess would have to be Tebow, 08, Bradford and Tebow in 08.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah, Tim Tebow in 08. You got it better than I would have. That was the last time we saw two quarterbacks that knew they were going to the national championship face off in the Heisman first. And I think it's awesome that we might actually see that this year too. But nonetheless, I do agree that obviously that was before the playoff system. So I do agree it should be based off the regular season. And I'm hoping, considering it's like 2 million media members that votes on this thing, I don't have much faith that it won't be judged off of anything with the bowl games. But I can hope. So ideally they have this whole ceremony thing, and then they vote in December, sometime between December 19th and December 24th. They vote between then, and they just have the results after. That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because, it's funny because in that time period, you got like 5 bowls. I think you got the Frisco Bowl in the 19th. I think the Potato Bowls in the 21st, 22nd's Gasparilla, 23rd's Camellia. Don't ask how I have this memorized. I love my bowls, but 23rd's like the Montgomery. Excuse me. Then Christmas Eve, New Mexico Bowl, probably not going to be played in New Mexico. And then you said 24th is when the voting ends.
Yes. No, the 24th is at 7 p.m. I don't know when the voting ends, but that's when the final is announced on ESPN.
Okay, well, that being said, I mean, like, I doubt any finalists or Heisman Trophy candidates will be playing in any of those bowl games. Although, a guy we mentioned last week, or 2 guys we mentioned last week out of the group of 5, Malik Willis and Grayson McCall, they could end up playing one of those bowls because, the Sun Belt's tied to a few of those bowls, and Liberty is tied into pretty much any ESPN-operated bowl due to their TV deal. So, you never know. They could get that extra leg up in a bowl game. But, we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
Speaking of bowls, is that a Heart of Dallas bowl game sweatshirt you're wearing?
Yeah, it is. It's big and orange.
Nice.
Great pumpkin Charlie Brown look right now.
Yeah. I went to that bowl game. It was the back was Southern Miss and Washington. So, no, I think the bowl game, I think it's probably going to come down to those 4, unfortunately. Grayson McCall, plenty deserving, but just how it works until there's voting reform, we're not going to see that.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I only caught on to the tail end of your point, but I think what you're trying to say was, if I'm not mistaken, just about McCall and Willis just not getting a fair shake. There's like a little bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, sorry, just student housing Wi-Fi is not the best. So.
Totally understand it. This government Wi-Fi is not much better.
Not that yours is much better. Yeah. Actually, it's much worse. Let's talk about something that you brought, and kind of I knew it was happening, but I didn't really connect the dots. Justin Fields versus Mike Penix Heisman elimination game.
I'm excited.
Up the big, yeah, that's gonna be. I was honestly kind of surprised College Game Day didn't go there, but I mean, Ohio State. It feels like Indiana's that team. Well, yeah, I mean, they're looking good, the best they have in a long time, but there's no way they beat Michigan, And then they beat Michigan. Who knows? Who's to say that they can't beat Ohio State? I mean, there's huge talent differential, but you never know. And the NS looked great when we didn't expect them. To. What are
so? I think this Saturday we'll do. I know Justin Fields has a cred from last year, as a Heisman finalist too. So it might take more to eliminate him from the race. But if Penix ends up winning this game, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how it works out because Indiana is the better story. And the one game I can think of that's like this, where you had a quarterback battle, was Jackson versus Watson in 2016, where Watson beats Jackson. And that game was actually on my senior homecoming that night. But yeah, you had Jackson losing the game but winning the Heisman. I can see a sort of similar thing happening with Justin Fields, just because Fields is a transcendent talent in college football at the moment.
Right. I think Fields definitely has more to lose. If Fields come out, and not even if it would be really bad if Ohio State lost this game, even with your point about Jackson, it would still be really bad if Ohio State lost this game, and especially if Justin Fields played bad. I think that Justin Fields has a lot more to lose in this game. And Penix, if Indiana loses, he's kind of out. We're not talking about him on our next podcast.
Yeah.
He was not at all on the radar even, and he wasn't until a week or 2 ago. So it really isn't any skin off his back as disappointing as it would be, just because this could be detrimental with the talent that they're playing. This is their toughest game. They're playing any other game that's any tougher than this, I think. So Fields kind of he could be out of the race. by the end of this. Or not out of it, but very, very close if Jones, Lawrence, and Trask keep playing as they do.
So I will say this for Mike Penix. I do think that a trap game is against Maryland if they can figure out, get healthy with the COVID issues that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Trap game takes Penix out of the race if he wins this weekend. But until then, this will say a lot. This will be one of the shaping games in the Heisman race, kind of like how Notre Dame Clemson was a shaping game because Lawrence missed. So I think you got Mac Jones is a front runner at the moment, either Mac Jones or Kyle Trask runner. But this game is just another one of those shaping ones. And then I know I'm getting ahead of myself in saying this, quarterback battle. But, watch out for December 5th, Coastal Carolina Liberty, where we got Grayson McCall versus Malik Willis.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, they're not going to let in two group of 5 quarterbacks as finalists. If they both come in undefeated, one team's going to stand and one quarterback's going to stay standing. Hopefully it's Malik Willis because I think I just love the way Malik Willis plays. Love his style.
Well, I don't have the December 5th schedule memorized off the top of my head. Is there any chance game day goes there? Because that's a top 25 matchup for sure, and that would be a draw. They love to go to those small schools when it is a big deal for the smaller schools. I don't know. Yeah, is there one that jumps to your mind that's big?
I'm looking at the schedule right now as we're speaking. So you got week 14. So. Yeah, I think something
that's going to be it's going to be a great game either way. But
we got Indiana, Wisconsin. Indiana plays Wisconsin cross divisionally. Oh, that could be probably gonna be the game.
Yeah, especially if Indiana can pull this off Saturday, that would be huge. Yeah. Or if it gets postponed. At this rate. Yeah, but no, I forgot that the Coastal Carolina and Liberty play each other. That's going to be a fun matchup. And like you said, there's yet another Heisman elimination game that even if you can, for a school like Coastal Carolina, if you can end up 4th, 5th in the Heisman rank, that still is great. That's still great for those schools that, were not even considered before this. Or didn't have players that were considered. So that would be awesome.
Yeah, 100%. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that neither school has trap games. I know Liberty's got a tough one against NC State, a sneaky good NC State school who beat Virginia Tech, almost beat Miami, but they blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter or 2-score lead, pulled the Niners in the Super Bowl. But we won't talk about that.
Right. If your points are all done with the Heisman, we can kind of move on to the Biletnikoff Award. Like I said earlier on in the introduction, that goes to the best receiver in the country. Let's just say, I think we lost. Oh, there we go. Let's just say that it has been a Power 5. It's gone completely to Power 5 schools, with the exception of Golden Tate going to Notre Dame and being an independent. The last Group of 5 player to win it was Larry Fitzgerald, who was a grandpa for the Arizona Cardinals. So I think he's older than Cliff Kingsbury out there. But there are.
What's up? You call Notre Dame, a not Power 5, and at the time also Pittsburgh in the Big East in the days of Miami and Virginia Tech. It was
right.
The Big East was a Power 5 or Power 6, I should say.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. You're right. And Notre Dame, if they joined a conference, which they haven't, and they kind of they cheated their way into the season this year, then they would be in a Power 5 conference. But they're not. They should be kind of that weird film that's out there being on NBC. There are some great Group of 5 candidates, a couple from UCF, one from Arkansas State. Do you want to kind of go through these? I think we have 8 candidates over here that we can kind of talk our way through.
Yeah, so I want to start with the front runner, and I'm sure this is a guy that you've seen a lot, in being a huge SEC guy. But Elijah Moore is setting the world on fire right now, especially like last week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Huge touchdown, right? 94 yards or something like that. It was like the one where we're
Yeah.
Forge.
He leads the SEC in the most deep receiving yards. Kind of resembles DK Metcalf in that. He also, I found this stat interesting. This is from SEC StatCat, great Twitter page for any of you interested. He has a 47.6% catch rate for targets. So he's going up there. And even with, I can't remember Ole Miss's quarterback off the top of my head, but they're just throwing the ball. They're slinging it everywhere. And even if it's not on target, he's finding a way to bring this down, which is it's really Elijah Moore's award to lose. But he has played phenomenal this year with 74 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 8 TDs already.
Yeah, I totally agree, honestly. And like the way that Ole Miss is throwing the ball out there with Matt Corral, it's really his award to lose, considering like the two other guys, or I'd say the three other guys, in my opinion, that I guess hold a candle to him right now are Jalen Robinson, Marlon Williams out of UCF, high-flying offense out there in Orlando, with a big game this weekend against Cincinnati, and also Dax Milne out of BYU. BYU just being like one of the good stories of the year. I think for the UCF receivers, they might have a chance, but I think that requires them beating Cincinnati this weekend at 3:30 on ESPN. Either one of those guys having a breakout game, whether it be Robinson or Marlon Williams. Oh, we got a little bit of –
Right. I think for Williams, and it requires – Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, cool. I think, like you said, Williams and Robinson both would need a win over Cincinnati and a great performance, which, I mean, they're going to have to get a win over them. At least the good news is that for Williams and Robinson, if they don't win it, they can always come in anyway. So, who's that third guy again? I think you cut off a little bit on my end.
Oh, yeah, Dax Milne out of BYU. He's got over
that's right.
805 yards receiving, 17 yards a catch, really great clip. But I think what we talked about last week with Zach Wilson, just like the week schedule, Milne taking advantage of the week schedule as Zach Wilson has. But again, like if BYU just continues to run the table, and now huge news of the Pac-12 for someone like BYU is, anytime there's a cancellation, they can schedule a non-conference game. And BYU's got 2 open weeks. And the only available teams those weeks are American teams out of the American, which aren't bad. But I'm sure they'd want a big Power 5 win to increase that, that portfolio for the playoff when I guess December 20th comes for Selection Sunday.
Right. Another guy that kind of there was another stat attention for Devonta Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. 56 receptions, 759 yards, 8 touchdowns, 13.6 average. Nothing really spectacular besides the 8 touchdowns. This was really interesting to me. He sees 50% of the team's red zone targets. So half the time that they're throwing the ball in the red zone, it's to Smith. And 66.7, so basically 2/3 of. So flip a coin, there's a 50-50 chance that the ball's going to him, and then in the red zone, and then he's still productive. 2/3 of those catches are for first down.
Yeah, I caught some of those stats, Jackson. Can you run a couple of them by me again?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me good right now?
In and out a little bit, but just run those by again.
Okay. Gotcha. So for Damonte Smith, 50% of the time that Bama's in the red zone and they throw, the ball goes to him. Are they? And then 2/3 of those catches that he has in the red zone go for first downs or touchdowns. So the ball's going to Smith when they're in the red zone, and 2/3 of the times he's productive with either a first down or a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like with Devontae.
I don't know if you were able to catch that.
Yeah, I caught most of that. Yeah, I think the thing is with Devonta Smith, it's like a similar case with the Jerry Jeudy 2018 Biletnikoff winner. In that Alabama is like the best in the country. They got that Brandon, the other finalists. Only one I can remember at the top of my head is Andy Isabella, who I think got hosed that award, especially after I think he had over 200 yards against, might have been 300 even. Had over 200 yards against Georgia between the hedges. And I think that's the greatest, if not one of the greatest, receiving performances by any receiver in against Georgia ever. I think Isabella got hosed because, just because it's Bama, really. So I think a guy like whether it be Dax Milne, Marlon Williams, Jalen Robinson out of UCF or BYU, those guys, I think those guys are going to get hosed this year. I guess as a finalist, the award is a lot to lose. But those guys are going to get overshadowed by a guy like Devonta Smith. And, all credit to Smith. He's a great receiver, but his stats just don't really stack up to, the guys that we have listed.
Right. No, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think, like you said in the beginning, it's Elijah Moore's award to lose. So we'll see where he ends up. We won't know until Chris Fowler announces it. But we'll see until then. One little discussion question about the Biletnikoff Award. With the news of Jalen Waddle possibly coming back for the college football playoff, he's recovering quickly on his, I forget what injury he had. Is this his award if he doesn't get hurt? Does Waddle take that home?
I think so. I think there's a lot of speculation, though, done. This is a lot of speculation. But, I think so because, Waddle, a guy like Jerry Jeudy, plays a brand name program. Who else are you going to give the award to?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree with you. I think Waddle has at least a very good shot to win it if he doesn't. He's definitely up there with Elijah Moore if he doesn't get hurt. So, if not higher. So, yeah. Well, I think that wraps up all the candidates we wanted to talk about for the Biletnikoff. Is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I think I'll add to that too. In the national receiving rankings, the third guy, my mistake, in the country is Jonathan Adams Jr. at Arkansas State, and it hurts me to see the Red Wolves get screwed again just because they're a Sun Belt school and they're middling this year. The Red Wolves are usually great out of the Sun Belt, but Adams has 832 receiving yards on 6 touchdowns or 8 touchdowns, 60 catches. What I meant to say. Had a breakout performance against Kansas State in week 2 with 3 touchdown catches on Big Noon kickoff. All the markings are there, but it just hurts. After last year, they had a guy, Omar Bayless, who was one of the nation's leaders. I think he was the nation's leader in touchdown catches or receiving yards, where Bayless had 93 catches for 653 yards and 17 touchdowns for the Red Wolves, but no recognition, not even an invite to the awards ceremony. So I really think, sure, they'll talk about, crappy, pass defenses or whatever. But I think it's a shame that guys like Jonathan Adams Jr., who's third in the country in receiving, just won't even get recognition, right off the bat. Because like you said at the leadoff of this discussion, the Biletnikoff is a Power 5 award. It's funny. Not even guys that played for Hawaii, in 2007 when they made the Sugar Bowl, not even any of those guys could crack a final.
Right. Troy Edwards is really that last, true non-Power 5 out of Louisiana Tech the year before that. Some guy named Randy Moss. I don't know him.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Marshall. So the winner. Yeah. It is a Power 5 award. And that's a trend that we see in pretty much, I think, as we progress through these awards. I think we're going to see that trend a lot. Hopefully that'll go down. Voters should pop into all 22 and actually do their homework instead of just Googling it on Quizlet like we all do, and try and see. But yeah, hopefully we'll see more group winners from here on out.
Yeah, and you mentioned Troy Edwards, who I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Jackson?
Oh, no, you're good. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Troy Edwards on that note, who won it in 1998, had absolutely one of the most really amazing seasons I've ever seen out of any offensive player. 140 catches, 1,996 yards, and I just did a quick search of this, but the thing that reminds me at the top of my head, the 1998, I think it was either back in the day they had the kickoff classics. You had the kickoff classic at Giants Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. You had the pigskin kickoff that used to be. I know you, Jackson, a big Disney fan. I don't know if I have my patch on my desk. I'll show you that for the podcast, but they used to be at the Rams' old stadium where the Angels played, Anaheim Stadium. And then you had the Eddie Robinson kickoff, and I'm rambling coach. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on a tangent with these kickoff classics, but I think
you're good.
Classic.
The most touchdowns by a Biletnikoff Award winner, too, at 27. Insane.
Yeah, exactly. That year, he had 405 yards against Nebraska. And we're not talking about, Nebraska today. We're talking about Nebraska black shirts, vaunted Nebraska.
Yeah.
405 yards in a game. Absolutely amazing, mind-blowing.
That's insane. Yeah.
And I remember, too.
That is insane.
I remembered as well a guy that also got screwed from, our childhood. I don't know if you remember Freddie Barnes from Bowling Green, but he caught 160-something passes for the NCAA season record. I think it was 150 or something, 160, whatever. But the man got screwed. I don't think he won the award if I'm not mistaken. It was 2009. Yeah, 2009 he had 155 catches and 19 touchdowns. Also ran Wildcat quarterback, 25 carries, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns rushing. But I don't think he was a candidate, or I don't think he won the award. Might have been a finalist, but I don't think he won the award. Did he, Jackson, in 2009?
Right. I don't think so. No, you would know better than me, so I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, I think you just mentioned that Troy Edwards is the last Group of 5 guy, and I'm just thinking it's just sad, the amount of great Group of 5 receivers there are that get screwed over because of the bias. It's just ridiculous.
Right. No, I totally agree. I would love to see. I think Elijah Moore is truly the most deserving receiver if all these guys keep their pace. But we'd love to see Williams, Milne, Robinson, one of those win it too if they're deserving.
Yeah, I totally agree. We'll just have to see what happens when the time comes. So yeah, but
absolutely. I've got one more discussion question for us. I'm trying to come up with this related to the podcast, with the obvious exception of Larry Fitzgerald. Who is the best NFL receiver? I have the best NFL career from a current NFL player that's won the Biletnikoff.
I'm a little biased, but I'm gonna go with Michael Crabtree.
Oh yeah, love Crabtree. Yeah, Crabtree is a back-to-back winner out of Texas Tech, guns up. I'm gonna have to say, as far as production, maybe Amari Cooper, but I love Brandon Cooks too. I love Brandon Cooks a lot, but as far as just production, this year even, Amari Cooper is probably if I could pick any of these guys to have a team, Cooper. But man, I love Cooks a lot.
Yeah, I kind of forgot Cooks won it because that's when Oregon State was not bad. They're all right. But I think it was it 2013 that he won the award, or another year?
Yeah, it was 2013 that Cooks won it.
They went to the Hawaii Bowl that year.
And then
so they weren't bad.
14, right. Corey Coleman out of Baylor in 2015. A little funny story. The last back-to-back winner was since Crabtree, actually, Justin Blackman. I met him in the mall one time, and I was so excited. He was a rookie at the time. I was like, man, this is awesome, meeting Justin Blackman. Then, not even 7 months later, off the Jags for weed. So, hate to see it. Yeah. But, man, I'm excited, 12 years.
It's unfortunate. It really is. Like, it just seems.
I have a signed Youth Medium Oklahoma State shirt by him if you're interested. So.
That's quite, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, you just don't know. It seems like the award seems like a career killer. But, we'll just see what happens this year.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Well, yeah, enjoy Thursday night football, whether that means Tulsa, Tulane for you, or for me, like it does Cardinal Seahawks at the newly named Lumen Field. Yeah, enjoy your Thursday night, and we'll talk probably right after this, but we'll talk on the podcast soon, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully next week, if everything works out. I know the semester's picking up for me. But, yeah, like, all I got to say is this Thursday night, the game of the week is not Tulane, or is not Arizona, Seattle, but Tulane, Tulsa. With Tulsa playing their first ranked game since 2010. And Tulsa controls their own destiny to win the American, folks, as a one-loss team.
Yeah.
Don't forget about it.
Yeah. I want you to go back and tell me that once Decaf Metcalf, as Andrew Siciliano says, runs another 100 yards to chase down Buda Baker. So we'll see. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, enjoy your Thursday night. Luckily, I've got 2 TVs, so I'm going to watch both. So
Same here.
Yeah,
Same
man. Here. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Thursday night, and we will make a new one next week.
Yeah. Until then, we'll see you. Peace, love, everyone.
Sounds good.